G'day guys, as you're aware it was my intention to merge episode 6 and 7's reviews into a super review. However, after putting the script together for episode 6's review, it came out at about 15 minutes, so that super review would have turned into about half an hour. I'm hyper aware that modern individuals have precious little time in a day, so I'm not going to do that. I'm making a conscious effort to try to keep the videos under 15 minutes, which is a little bit difficult when I like to deep dive on lore. And God bless Paramount, they just make it so easy to find problems as a long-time Halo fan with their show. So I've made the call to do episode 6 on its own and push back the reviews by a week, which I guess is ideal for people who are seeking to avoid spoilers. In my mind, each episode deserves its own reaming, and it's only fair because Paramount has made us sit through them all. Right, let's do this. Episode 6 opens in the aftermath of the battle on E2. The UNSC have had their asses kicked and have limped back to Reach without the second magic bullshit device. But they have picked up Dildo Lord as a consolation prize. Long John Silver is getting twitchy and increasingly angry at Dr. Halsey as he recalls more and more of his childhood trauma. Welcome to real life, Pablo.
No, Daddy, no!
Hey look, it's Halsey's journal and all the lore within it has been relegated to a prop within a show that doesn't give a fuck about it.
Phase 1 of indoctrination underway. We're attempting to tell the candidates why they were taken, why their mission is critical for the fate of all humanity. Some already comprehend the magnitude of their task. One boy, a 6-year-old, actually asked me if they were here to save everybody from fighting and killing each other. Most understand only pieces, and all of them miss their fathers and mothers. My team of ONI child psychologists assures me that after 6 months under Mendez' tutelage they won't even remember their names, much less their families. ONI grossly underestimates the candidates. Typical. Working with DJR to continue the indoctrination protocols and education to ensure willing compliance. We are asking everything of them. They deserve as much truth as we can stomach to tell them.
What have you done to Halsey's character, you fucking muppets? I need a new nickname for her. So despite Long John trying to cave in her head in the last episode, Dr. Halsey has decided not to have Long John placed under watch or guard, which proves problematic when he decides to lock her in a lab and threatens to decontaminate her out of existence. How terribly convenient that Long John is the only person who knows about this ship's safety oversight, despite it being on public record, and also how terribly unfortunate that Dr. Halsey's lab is the perfect spot for this oversight to exist. It's almost like the showrunners invented this bullshit character and his safety oversight to enable this specific dramatic scene to take place. Anyway, it turns out Cortana can't assume direct control, and Long John saves Halsey at the last minute, promising he won't save her from what happens next. Why isn't there a manual override on the door to the point where John has to shove a wedge in the door to open it? Even 21st century supermarkets have a big green button. Who cares? Paramount clearly don't, so long as they get their bullshit drama out at any cost. On that note, it might be a good time to alert the security personnel the chief's gone homicidal.
What the hell are you doing?
Security to the bridge. The Master Chief has gone rampant. Take him down, boys.
But nope, because the only people that could stop John at this point are worried he'll find out that they were also involved in his kidnapping. Therefore, they are paralysed by indecision. Good thing the UNSC is made up of thousands of personnel, and not just these characters, right? Right? Oh my god. How is he allowed to be walking around right now? Remember episode 1? Remember this reaction to a slight deviation from following orders? Now he's homicidal, unhinged, and they're letting him run amok. No, they're actively putting him in situations that could compromise the security of the UNSC. Who wrote this show? Are you completely ignoring your own rules that you've established? Anyway, the characters from the planet Neutral say they're concerned about Long John's behaviour. You and me both. But P. Gosky says that Long John is perfectly capable of debriefing Dildo Lord. What? 2 episodes ago you were saying you wanted him brought in or killed because he was a little bit out of control. And now you're going to let the only Spartan you've had any active concerns about conduct an interview with someone who could be a Covenant spy because Dildo Lord won't talk to anybody else. What is it with this show and picking the absolute worst candidate to interview people? First you had Super Nerd who was walked all over by Pandabait, and now you've got fucking John, who's off the bloody rails in regards to his PTSD and everything else, giving Dildo Lord exactly what she wants. How is not Johnson defending Chief's actions here? Isn't he meant to understand that it's the mission before the men? How is this civilian from the neutral planet the only person speaking any sense in this whole organisation?
I have no strong feelings one way or the other.
Fuck it, full speed ahead to Paramount's endgame. Yep, they're the same. Both prisoners of their captors. Such symbolism, many visual theme. With the information Long John collects from Dildo Lord, Not Johnson then shouts and knife hands the entire CIC on reach, because that's how experienced officers talk to their subordinates, and they go about searching for LB426. Meanwhile, Dr. Halsey is being interviewed by Jag. Except instead of handsome Commander Rab, we have this fat, balding fuck. And because it's a science fiction, Not Johnson and P. Gosky are plugged into the Matrix to observe the meeting. Why? Could you not just watch from next door? That way you don't have to risk anyone else coming into the room unsupervised. Oh, fucking course Super Nerd does that. A bit more casual insubordination from the walking, talking, wanna kill my mother Halsey machine. And Long John Silver enters the room to learn the truth about the Spartan children's abductions. Oh my god, it's like Halsey is speaking straight to Super Nerd. Ooh, such realisation. Nailed it, Paramount. Exposition while generating family drama at the same time.
The cinematography in this scene is absolutely gorgeous. Now please excuse me while I go smell my own farts.
So after completely missing the point of why Halsey created the Spartans in the first place, and then merging her intentions with her later desires to push humanity's evolution forward, Paramount shoved some very funny humour up the episode. Haha, John shut the door in Cortana's face, and now she can't follow him. This makes no sense. She is literally in a chip that's been shoved up his occipital lobe. John is acting as some fucking Wi-Fi booster for her to bounce around the Fleetcom network. Oh, who fucking cares? I'm sick of trying to justify and explain this shit, especially given that Paramount have put no fucking effort into it either. Long John then goes to check on Not Kelly, and they both can't believe that Halsey lied to them. Neither can I, guys, neither can I. Cut to Not Halsey, which is what I will call her from henceforth, because Paramount have ruined her too. And Paran Gosky is telling her that she's being relieved of her control of the magic bullshit device and the Spartans. I wonder who would have the time, knowledge, and will to take over all of these projects. Of course. It's the fucking Super Nerd, and not only is she the single most important scientific mind in the UNSC, she's also a medical doctor too. Fuck me, is there anything she can't do? Long John then decides to stop ignoring his tremors and goes to get a diagnostic. Unfortunately, he's left it too long, here's a brain hemorrhage and he dies. The end. But remember, I'm just a brainless lump. Hey boss, you've only summarised half the episode. It's so shit. I don't think I can do it anymore. They've fucking destroyed everyone. The script is terrible, the characters are all wrong, and I just don't care anymore. I feel so sorry for the production team. All these great sets, props, and costumes in support of a B-grade sci-fi fanfiction using Halo as a meat skin. Yeah, I don't get paid enough for this shit. I'm going for a smoke.
See, Working Jellyfish? This show was not meant for fans like you. It's for new fans. It gets better every week. I've never been more excited for a show in my life. Surely you can admit now that it's okay to like this show the same way old fans liked the games.
I won't watch anymore. I feel it slipping.
No. Halo, the real Halo, that in this show has been reduced to nothing but props, sets, and costumes, does not belong to you. Halo has been a part of my life for 20 years. It is a story about unity and faith on both sides of the human and Covenant war. It is a modern folklore about the last best hope of humanity overcoming impossible odds to save us all. It inspires, challenges expectations and beliefs, and ultimately leaves you feeling like you can step into the shoes of Spartan 117 and be the hero humanity needs. Halo changed the trajectory of my life, and it remains my dream to one day be lucky enough to write something worthy of the canon. It is not some fast-tracked, pseudo-family drama obsessed with its own story about John and Mackie that's more concerned about deconstructing the Spartan project and ticking diversity boxes. This franchise deserves so much better than this. Fuck you, Paramount. Fuck you, CBS. What have you done? 343 isn't enough strife right now with Halo Infinite. They do not need long-time legacy Forerunner fans switching off Halo because your show is absolute garbage and you had no respect for the lore and everything that came before. If you like the show, congratulations. More power to you. But let me ask the question. Did you really, really like Halo before you watched this show? Were you an actual fan? The definition being a fanatic? Did you live and breathe this shit? If not, you're probably not annoyed at what Paramount has done. But you cannot sit from your cheap seats without the years and decades of experience plunged into this lore and tell hardcore fans that they can't enjoy their own franchise. We will not be gatekept by filthy casuals. Righto, I'm back. What did I miss? Roll the rest of the fucking reels, Jimmy. I found my motivation again. Jesus fucking Christ, no need to fucking swear, boss. Fuck me. So Long John ignores the medical advice despite being on the verge of death because his plot armor will carry him through the rest of this series. Then Not Johnson tells P. Gosky that the unexplored part of space is unexplored because there's nothing there. Sure, champ. Like how your keys are always in the last place you look. Who fucking wrote this garbage? Halsey is then under house arrest and she's confident Cortana will find a way to bypass the fleet comm firewall to get to her, despite Creeper saying that is impossible. No, Creeper, what is impossible is consistent writing and Paramount sticking to their own rules in their own show. Super Nerd then gets access to Halsey's lab,
Gosh.
but she can't access a computer without first speaking to her mother.
Drama queen.
Well, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? The pot calling the kettle black is a common English expression that highlights the hypocrisy of a statement. It has nothing to do with ethnicity, skin colour, race or creed. Back to you, WJF. Super Nerd then goes to confront Not Halsey and they have a little bit of family drama where Halsey appears to respect her and feels sorry for her and apologises for being a terrible mother, only to reveal that in fact she was using an eye scanner on her daughter. Super Nerd then goes back to the lab, confirms that Long John Silver and Dildo Lord are the same right down to their bloody DNA. Long John then strong-arms Super Nerd into letting him touch the magic bullshit device, despite her too explaining that it is clearly a bad idea and that Dildo Lord poses a threat to John if he does so. But she lacks the command presence to stop her subordinate, so he does it anyway. Long John touches Dildo Lord's G-spot, she has an orgasm, he busts a valve, and their minds teleport across space and time to a Halo ring. They skip across a field of wildflowers into each other's arms, while a remix of Halo's iconic score plays in the background. What have you done to Marty's masterpiece, you bastards? Long John touches Dildo Lord's face, and the episode ends with the Super Nerd asking John where he went. What a fucking mess. So you know what time it is, guys. That's right, time to nitpick. I'll start with some low-hanging fruit here, guys. Why is Dildo Lord always wearing makeup? I understand that you always have to wear makeup when you're on stage or on television, but this actually looks like she's wearing lipstick. She has hair product on. There is nothing subtle about this at all. They've done it up to make her look pretty, which is ridiculous given that she's spent the last 2 decades with the Covenant. I don't understand why you wouldn't do this more subtly. Something that really jumped out at me in this episode is the casual insubordination across the UNSC. While I understand that senior NCOs will often give guidance and recommendations to junior officers, the blatant insubordination from the Master Chief in 3 instances in this episode alone really took me out of the show. I'm not naive enough to think that insubordination doesn't happen across all ranks and services depending on where you serve, and I understand that in the canon the Spartans are almost separate from the normal rank structure because they're special forces, and people will innately listen to them because they are the best. However, a Master Chief does not tell a Major from the Judge Advocate General to get out of the room. He does not order a commander to go research something for him, and if he does do such things, any officer worth half their salt would swiftly tell him where to go despite him being an augmented Spartan and them being a human.
Master Chief?
Lieutenant, seek life elsewhere.
Suck my dick!
The examples I'm talking about here in this episode are casual insubordination and are a little bit different to insubordination in a combat zone. For example, John ignoring orders in the previous episode to bring the Keystone in to go save Not Kelly. You could compare this scene to the absolute meme that's in Halo 4.
I am ordering you.
To surrender that AI!
No, sir.
The difference here being that John in the games was mission focused to the point where he was willing to sacrifice himself and Cortana to save humanity. In the Halo TV series, he's not mission focused and wants to save a fellow Spartan who's removed her emotional regulator. It's almost like that they want to be insubordinate buddies together. Regardless of which way you look at it, whether it's insubordination on the battlefield or in barracks, the show is painting a picture of Long John Silver, who is grossly insubordinate and a very poor soldier who cannot follow orders. But at the same time, every character in the show is telling us that John is the best ever, and he is the most effective weapon against the Covenant. He is our only hope. This is totally at odds with all the evidence the show has given us so far, and the truth is really hard to reconcile. That'd be a cool name for a mission. In the first novel of Halo, The Fall of Reach, John learns the lesson the hard way that you can't always save your men, but the mission comes first. It is a painful lesson that he carries forward with him for the rest of his career, and in this show, set in the year 2552, as a combat veteran, he should have learned that by now. And as much as I like Not Kelly, he should have left her to die and got that keystone on that ship, because now humanity is at risk. This is not the John that we all know. John from the games and the canon would never let this happen. But the show wants to paint this as a sympathetic moment that's meant to endear us to his character. Sorry, show. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You need to earn payoffs like that. You can't have an overly emotive soldier who's focused on saving everybody at the cost of the mission and also have him be focused on the mission and save everybody. There seems to be competing ideas about who John should be in this show, and it's ripping the narrative apart. The part that wants him to be the hero of the UNSC and the saviour of humanity is ripping straight from the canon without earning it. Meanwhile, you've got an overly sympathetic, highly emotional soldier who can't follow orders meant to be your protagonist that we're all meant to root for. All the peripheral characters in the show see John as he is in the canon, the saviour of humanity, whereas the people watching the show see the Silver Timeline John, who is an emotional wreck who can't control himself. As a result, you've got John from the Silver Timeline and John from the canon in some sort of bipolar character that doesn't make any sense. And this bipolar character is very much in love with his twin sister. This plotline is absolutely ridiculous, and I can't believe Paramount are running straight at it to grab it with open arms. The only thing positive I can say about this episode is that Panda Bait was relegated to a flashback. Although I get the horrible feeling they're going to make up for that next episode. But remember, I'm just a brainless lump who's really missing Sergeant Johnson right about now.
Usually the good Lord works in mysterious ways, but not today. This here is 66 tons of straight up, HE spewing divine intervention.
Hooroo.